a memorable and empowering experience for everyone. So thank you and wishing you a beautiful session ahead.
Thank you, Shilpa. So I guess the recording is on. Shamin?
Yeah, Marin, the recording is on.
Oh, okay, fine. So it's a good evening, I hope, for everyone. Okay, I'm just taking control of the slide. Okay, so today's topic is building successful family habits. And before getting into that, Shilpa has given me given an introduction about me. So this is my family, small, big family. You can see my husband, Rastam, and 4 kids. The eldest one, Isa, is almost 13, and the youngest one is 7 years old. Would be good if you all can mute your mic. So this is today's topic, building successful family habits. And what's the relevance of this topic? We are all here because this topic is relevant to us, right? What is the key word for you in this topic? What struck you? What made you come here? I want to hear from
Habit,
you all. Yes.
habit,
Habits. Yes. Okay.
because that's
Who want
what
to
builds
set
a
Successful
habits?
successful.
family.
Hmm?
Successful family.
Successful family. Okay. So from this heading, for each one of us, things strike differently, right? For me also, in the title, what struck me most, the key word was the successful. Because we normally build so many habits for our family, whether intentionally or not. Intentionally in the sense, when we train our children to wake up from bed and then brush their teeth soon after waking up, that is an intentional habit that we try to instill in them. But there are other habits that get instilled even without we knowing. Can you comment anything like that which any one of the family members acquired without you intending to? Is there any habits like that?
Cleaning.
Sorry?
Ma'am, can you repeat what you asked?
Cleaning.
Cert- Certain habits, it's like we purposefully, intentionally, we instill in kids, right? And certain habits, they get it even though we don't have the intention to instill. Yes, Rasha, that is sharing is one thing like that. What else? Our habits define who we become as a person or family, so it's important. Yes, I would like to see your real name. I don't know who has messaged now. So everyone, if you can give the name as with your, if you can change it to your real name, that would be good. Compassion. Okay. And along with that, how we comment about people, how we comment about others, how we react in moments of crisis. These are all things that, people in our family acquire from us, even without we intending to instill in them. And for all those who have gathered here, for us, family is important. That's why we are here. And most of the times, even though family is important, we see that we give priority to other stuff and keep family aside because that is the only area in which we have the freedom to set aside. Like, you cannot control the guest who is coming in, you cannot skip the meetings that you have to attend, you cannot skip going to office, you cannot skip your household responsibilities like cooking, cleaning. So this is the only thing that we can push aside, and most of the times that happens. In this session, we'll see how in this busy life we can prioritize a few things so that even when we are busy and we are not in the full-fledged doing A to Z, but if we can prioritize a few things, then things would go fine. So today we'll be seeing the 4 big mistakes that we make when trying to build a successful family, the 2 prerequisites necessary to build habits in children, and a few 10 plus, to be specific, 11 habits we'll be discussing today. And then on the go, there will be 3 self-check questions for us parents to evaluate ourselves. And also, there will be 2 additional habits, magical change making habits at the end. Okay, so starting with the 4 big mistakes that creep into us parents when we have the vision of building a good family, building good family habits. The first mistake is we sit back and expect kids to know and do things according to their age. But that doesn't happen. Majority of the time, just expecting and things to happen according to their age, that won't work that way. For example, a teenager who is supposed to pitch into family chores or whatever is happening in the family, we feel like it's their responsibility. They are into their teens and they need to take up that responsibility. They know everything, and maybe at the end we shout. But just expecting things according to the age will not work there. And another example is a toddler who is supposed to be behaving well in family functions. A majority of the time there should be a molding that happens before expecting things from them. The second thing is we just force and shout and get things done because making it happen is our only goal. Once I made this mistake. I was so obsessed with the routine habits, cleanliness. I used to go crazy when the house isn't neat. But while accommodating these little humans, I understood that in order to make them organized, my main goal shouldn't be that. Main goal shouldn't be in getting things done, but should be on bringing them also into the same page as mine. Agree? If I'm talking fast, please let me know, okay? I have this
Yes, ma'am.
habit. Sorry, I'm talking fast. So the third one is you model and then you expect. You model things and you expect your children to copy. But a majority of the time that also doesn't happen. That is why you think like, I'm not doing this, but my child is not doing like what I do. And the fourth one is you focus on having a good relationship with the child. You don't want to disappoint your child. You fail in getting things done from the child because of that. You fail in setting boundaries with the kids where needed. Setting boundaries in the right manner is lacking. From this 1 to 4, okay, thank you, Hanan, for mentioning that. From this points 1 to 4, could you spot any mistake that you have been making? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, Sahil needs advice on all. Aisha says yes. Okay, Kripa, Tasneem. Okay.
Could
Okay.
you explain the
So
fourth one?
fourth one is we fail to set boundaries with the children. We love them, we agree on a lot of things, but we don't know to set the right kind of boundaries with the children, and so we don't get what we want, what we expect.
Okay. Ma'am,
And
can you please say the
I'm sorry,
second one
Sharon, this
once more?
session is in English. Sorry.
Can you please say the second one once more? I didn't understand the way you said. That's why.
Okay. When getting things done is our only goal, we force it on our children. That is the second point. When getting a clean house is your only goal, you just force that on the children.
Ah, yes, yes. I do that on my child
Okay. So
because
these are
I
a few
get
of the.
very much frustrated. That's by
Okay.
seeing I'm clean.
Who is this?
I'm now in.
Now, right. Okay. So, but on the reality, actually, it is a mixture of things that we actually need to do. We need to set the foundation of empathy. We need to model the qualities and habits. Don't think like, okay, I'm a person who gets angry very fast, but I don't want to see it in you. We give children instructions like that, right? I can't do it, but you have to. That won't happen. You need to model the habits. Always be the adult in their life who model the behavior that you want to see in them. And along with this, help them to put into practice by mentoring them without just expecting. And that is how in our family things get done. So without damaging their emotional health, always focus on the internal motivation and wrap things up with your bonding and the good relationship that you have with them. That is when there becomes respect. And when we respect a person, we naturally tend to, the situation goes smooth. And for this, we need to be involved rightly in the life of our children. Let's explore next the 2 prerequisites that is needed before getting into the habits. The first prerequisite that we need is a bird view or a long-term vision. We may be at different stages in our family. Like for some of you, there will be over involvement of others and criticisms. You will be facing criticisms, neglect. You may be trying hard to bring people together or make things happen. And sometimes you'll be in the other phase of your life, maybe a peaceful phase of your life. So whatever stage you are in, it is very important to have a long-term vision or a bird view where you are heading. We all have dreams for our family, and this dream, this vision that we have, that has to be the force that drives us on our bad days. Because we want to get there, because we have the vision of a successful family. And for this term success is very vast, right? I'll have my own definition of a successful family and you will have your own definition. So this vision that we have, that has to be greater than the greatest force that is pulling us down. It's going a little faster. Okay, so I'll try to be slow. How to teach them our anchor is wrong, steps to control anger. Okay, Latifa, please keep the question towards the end. Okay, we'll discuss. So we'll all have good days and bad days, but in our bad days, in order to get to our good days, we need to have this vision in front. For example, if you have the vision of a peaceful family, you won't be the one who shows anger always, right? You won't be allowing yourself to show that anger and irritates, and you'll be taking help when needed. You'll be giving second chance to people. You'll be forgiving. So have that vision, and it is very important to write that vision down also and check it frequently and make necessary edits whenever possible. Okay, imagine that 2 kids are playing a jigsaw puzzle, and there will be a picture, right, which they are trying to make. So the image that one kid has in mind is different than the image that the other kid has in mind. Will they succeed in bringing the puzzle pieces together? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Definitely no. Okay. So the second prerequisite is based on that. Every member in your family should be communicated your vision and brought to the same page. Yes, they have to be on the same page, especially your spouse. Some of you might see someone's mic is on. Okay. So some of you might know that we both are homeschooling our 4 children, me and Rastam. Rastam had this vision of homeschooling his kids even before he got the first one. But I was not on the same page. And never in his life has he forced it on me. Just imagine if one parent wants to homeschool, the other doesn't. If we start, will it go right? Will it?
No.
No. And I know families where things go like that, especially homeschooling. And so one of you will have that vision and you'll be the one who initiates the vision, but it is a group work that has to make it happen. And this is true for big visions as well as small ones. Big vision in the sense, like if you don't want disrespectful language in your family, if everyone agrees to that, if you can bring everyone on the same page, then everyone will be taking care of themselves. Otherwise, you will be the one who's policing others. Mic is on. Handish. Okay. So if everyone is not on the same page, then you will be the one who is policing others, right? And this is true for small targets as well. For example, in order to bring down your electricity bill, every member has to be onboarded with that idea. Then only things will happen. So these are the 2 prerequisites. One is have that vision for your family and also onboard every family member into that vision. That is where your role as a leader of the family comes into picture. Okay, so are you ready to get into the habits?
Ready, ma'am.
Ready? I want to see in the chat box as well. Yes. Nadia, Aisha, Latifa, Mariam, Banusha. Okay. Whose mic is on again? Niara, can you please switch off the mic? Okay, thank you. Habit, we know it is a usual way of behaving that a person has settled into, like a behavior that comes to us without any thoughts, involuntarily. We'll be discussing two types of habits. One is routine habits, and the other is behavioral habits. Routine habits we know, like waking up time, brushing after waking up, things like that. The other kind is the behavioral habits, how we behave in situations. That also become our habit, right? How we respond to others when they talk, how we respond when we are angry, how we correct our children. Don't they also become our habit? Routine habits, those are easier, comparatively easier to implement, while behavioral habits that will require a true transformation. And it is wise, it actually helps each other. Like if you can set your behavioral habits, if you can behave well and interact well with the family members, then setting routine habits also become easier. Things will be clearer when we get into the details. So we'll see both these type of habits, and also in between we'll be seeing three self-check questions that will help us analyze where we stand as a parent. Okay, so from what I'm going to discuss, there will be some habits that you'll be able to implement right away, but there will be some that you don't want to implement. Okay, and there will be some that you won't be able to do now, but you will be able to do later. I just want you to note down everything, and in the end, maybe you can pick a few, one or two, and start implementing it. So I'll be sharing a few habits that me and Rastam we have together implemented. And this is the first one. Sleep schedule. As a new mom, 12 years back when I got Isa, and soon after that, like after 1 year and 4 months, I got my second one, Musa. All throughout this period, this is a habit that really, it was a real boon to me, setting their sleep time. I used to get very overwhelmed after I was not working outside the home, but taking care of little ones, it's very exhausting. I used to get very tired at night. And the thing that helped me most was I used to put kids to bed very early. And they used to wake up early also. Around 7 p.m., they used to sleep. And 4:35, they wake up. The negative of this is from morning 5 a.m., you'll be having your children, in full-fledged, in full energy with you. But the positive side is after the 7 p.m. to the time I sleep, say 10, 11, till that time, it was all for myself. So there is no problem in a man or a woman wanting some time for ourselves without kids. We all love them and we are with them. It is completely okay to feel like you need a time when you are not in that responsibility. And that is a recharge time that you need. So I used to study during that time. I used to have fun. I have time with my spouse, etc. during this time, and it was very valuable for me. And another thing that that was beneficial is here also, actually why we started it was with a bird view of, we see children who sleep late in the morning, and by the time they have to go to school, the parent puts a good effort to wake the child up in the morning. So we didn't want that also for our children. So with keeping that bird view also in mind, that is how we set this habit. And now also it's beneficial because before leaving to office by 8:30 a.m. I can homeschool my children because they wake up early, and after that I can leave to office. So yes, to start with, see, there is no compulsion, but to start with putting your children to sleep early, what you can do is um, try switching off all the lights in the house and every family member go to bed early. You'll have to try this continuously for 2 weeks, and initially children won't sleep, but slowly they'll get into the tendency. They'll have in mind that everyone is asleep and I'll also have to, and slowly they get used to that timing. But they need to be convinced that every family member is sleeping at that time, and after 2 weeks when their habit is set, you can enjoy your time. And also another things that help in early sleep time of the children, one is warm bath just before bed. And also if your child has a habit of taking noon sleep, make it in such a manner that they wake up before 1 p.m. And also giving ample time to play outside, outdoor play in the evening, that also help in early night sleep. And for some people, for some parents, what helps is if your child's present sleeping time is 10, you can initially try to bring it to 9:30 for a few days. And once that is set, then you can bring that to 9 o'clock. So slowly, preponing that will be helpful. So you can try any one of that if you want to. Yes, we have our dinner early. See, now my children are not sleeping at 7. They sleep at slightly after 8. So initially when they are small, they need lot of sleep time, right? And as they grow, they need lesser nighttime sleep. So when they grow, what we did is we changed this 7 p.m. sleep time to 7:30, 8, and now around 8:15, instead of adjusting the wake up time. That is how we did it. We have dinner early, that is around now it is around 7 p.m. that we have it, just after Maghrib. Okay, so that is the first thing that helped me sleep schedule of my children. And the second is separating their night sleep. So this is a topic that that is a topic of discussion, especially for it is hard to digest for Kerala people here. We separated our children's room and their night sleep quite early. Crink members will be knowing that. One thing is we wanted privacy, and the second is since we wanted, I was already, within a few months I was pregnant with the second one, and I didn't want my eldest to lose anything when the second baby comes. So one primary thing where the children develop grudge against the younger one is when they lose that privilege of sleeping near the mother. So we wanted to train them early, and that was also a part of the bird view that we had. And see, if you have any doubts, we can discuss at the end. Okay. So I don't want you to try this out without guidance, because that has to be done in such a manner that it doesn't affect the child's emotional health badly. And we will be able to do it in a manner that the children also enjoy. It is not like, sending them out of the room. It can be done in a wonderful manner where they also, long for their room and all. So I remember a mother in Crink who was taking mentorship. See, in Crink, what we do is the best decision by a Crink member which made wonders, separating it. So, okay. Okay. So parents have made that change and finding it beneficial. I remember mother whose husband was coming from outside, and for a short period, and we tried this out and it worked. The children also took it up, and it worked very fine. And she was saying that she has 3 children. So she was saying that after she got the first one, this is the first time the husband and the wife is having some private moments. So there is a lot to talk around this, but this was one of the best decisions that we made, and that can be for you too. Okay. So third one is a common meal time. On a daily basis, have one common meal where you all join as a family and together you have it without gadgets, especially for adults, not especially, including adults. So we have this tendency of keeping our mobile near us every now and then, and during the meal times also, but have at least one meal a day where all of you join. This is a part of, making yourself available for your kids on a daily basis. So during this time, have conversations where the children also can pitch in. Make kids friendly discussions there, and avoid criticisms during this time. Make this time only for bonding between you all. So at least 5 days a week, or maybe 3 days, if only that is possible, according to your availability. Like if the father is going outside for work and is not available, pick a time when the father is also available, and pick a time when the mother is also available, and see that at least for 3 days or 5 days, according to your availability, you put this into practice, and this will be a great start for your bonding journey with your children. Nishana, would be good if we can continue that discussion personally. Okay. And another habits, it's around screens. Yes, very relevant these days. It's not necessary that you take in everything that I say. Okay. Just pick up what you feel like you want to. When our children were small, we, with the birth of the first one, exactly, we completely avoided television from our home. And that was a good decision, according to me and Rasta. We were both on the same page regarding this also. We didn't want that to be in the background full time, where people are not, connected, but this is the thing that is connecting us. And same thing we applied for gadgets also. Like, there is no unending usage of gadgets, and there is no unattended searches happening. We didn't feed with screens, and to entertain the children, we didn't use screens. We were involved there. It doesn't mean that we are completely keeping screens aside. No, they use it for their education. They do coding, they do animation, they are updated with the technology. But Googling and YouTube is not something that is freely available for them. No anytime searches. It is hard, whenever they want to search something, they should approach you. And it is hard. You'll be in between work. You'll have to pitch in. But it is hard, but it's really worth holding on to that. And another thing that we, as a family, took decision is, wherever the screen, laptop is placed, that is placed in such a manner that anyone who enters the room will be able to see the screen. So these are the things that we can do to help our children not to jump into traps. How do you, okay, this is the first self-check question, a very relevant one. How would your child describe you to another person? What specific traits of yours are prominent in their mind? Can you take a moment and note down? When done, please post yes. I don't want you to type what it is in the chat box, but I want you to take a moment and think about it. Okay, Rasha is done. Who else? Okay. Okay, I can see thumbs ups, and also Nusrat, Shafna, Dawood, Ved, Sahla, Samiha. Okay, fine. Next, going on to the fifth habit. Normally, we hear a lot of parents telling negatives about their partner to their children. You're showing your dad's anger. You are disorganized like your mom. These may seem minor, but these all have a negative impact on your child. They are losing the value that they have for your spouse. What we have made a habit is at least once in a month, we have conversation with our children. I'll be having with them, and Rasam will be having separately with them. How important the other one is to me. Like I'll be discussing with them qualities of Rasam. I'll pick just one or two and describe about that. And this has a great impact on them. And I know he's doing his duty also, because once in a while kids come and tell that Abba told this, Abba told that about you, and all they say. And a few days back, what I discussed was how Rastam surprised by coming one day before when my due date was near, when I was pregnant with my first son. So these small moments of happiness that your spouse gives you, it is good if you can share with your children and also focus on their good qualities. What happens is kids feel a sense of security when their parents are feeling good about each other. Second, they develop respect when we tell the positives of their father or their mother. And as they value your spouse and you more, they turn cooperative when you set boundaries as well. So that is one. And moving on to the sixth one, the best gift that you can give them is having a good relationship with your spouse. So build on that relationship. Don't take it for granted. You have a husband, you have a wife. That is not someone who will be 24/7 be there with you. It shouldn't be taken for granted. You need to take every effort. You need to put in energy. You need to put in your time to build that relationship every now and then. Have time for each other as couples on a regular basis. How much ever you are connected, you feel there is no problem between you both. Still invest your time and energy to hear each other, to fill each other with positivity, to appreciate each other. Consider the person who is living with you. See, when I express my love towards my husband, it's not just he who feels good. I also feel good, right? I'm adding on to the relationship. Ask about their health. Show that you care. And you won't find any couples who don't fight. But we can choose not to fight in front of children. Let fighting happen, privately, in the absence of kids. That's a habit that we need to develop. When we fight in front of children, they feel so insecure. Maybe you'll solve the issue with your partner, when children are not there. They won't know it. They won't know how well you patch things up. They'll only have that image of you both fighting. That'll be the prominent one. So build on the relationship with the spouse, and the differences of opinion that happens, please see that it is private. Second self-check question. If your child grows up and acquires one quality of yours, what would that be? And one quality that you don't want to see in your children. I'll give you 1 minute to think of both. One quality of yours that you want to see in your children, and one quality that you don't want to see. Done? Okay. Naurin, Samaya, Latifa. I can see hand raises as well. Okay. So what I want you to do is, you write this down, and I want you to, if you feel your relationship with your spouse is nice to discuss this, I would like you both to discuss about this. That will, one thing is that will help you both appreciate each other, and you will have a sense of working as a team to help each other get out of the negative. Will that be possible? To discuss this with your spouse? Okay. Okay, nice. Moving on to the seventh. When young kids are interested to help us around in the house, normally people say at that time, don't touch broom. Boys shouldn't come into the kitchen. That is something that we normally hear. What we did is, at that time when they were small and when they wanted to involved in the house chores, we let them. And initially, it was a mess. It was extra work on us. But that time and energy we invest is an investment. And as they grow, they will turn into excellent contributors for your house. And while inviting kids for chores, these are the three things that you need to keep in mind. One is, should my child do it? Second, can my child do it? And the third is, does he really want to do it? This third one is the most important one. Don't ever force it on them. If you force it, when they grow, they will know how to do things, but they won't be doing it. If your child is not involving in chores yet, you can start by just, asking them to wash the plate that they use for having food. Let other family members also do that. Or you can invite to wipe the table before lunchtime. So just start with some simple things that you can do right away, and be very positive while doing it, because you don't want to make your child hate the work, but you want them to finally enjoy it, and that is the only way how they'll keep doing. Moving on to the eighth one. So normally during the morning times, we have a time when we get together and we discuss our religious book, the incidents in that, the lessons that we learn in that, the stories. And the main thing what we see, if you are not in the habit of reading the religious book, you can take any moral book and you can do the same. What works with stories and incidents is that when you give that into their mind, and when you give them time to respond to it and talk to us about that, you'll see how children think about the matters that we are discussing. We'll get their perspective, we'll be able to add on to them. So this is the circle time we have almost every day, every morning. And since Rastam was not well for some time, we missed having this. And literally every family member, we were longing to get back into this schedule. Yes. So if through stories we can get an entry into their thought process with these discussions, this will help in molding their perspective, in molding, in molding them into good decision makers after all. So see that you are very open while they discuss things. They may counter what you're saying. We want to hear that from them, and respect their thought process and guide them. Ninth one, express love to your children. So expressing love to your kids won't make them disobedient. Take that from me. Instead, that will help us in getting more cooperation from them, because they will be bonded with you, they'll love you, and they'll respect you. So every day, without fail, make sure that you engage in at least one among the verbal, physical, or through your expressions. Like verbally, I mean, like verbally expressing love means telling them that you love them. I love you. Literally, telling them. Through physically means through hugs and kisses. And through your expressions means the smile that you have on your face, the positivity, the attitude that you have on your face. And scientifically also, it's proven that touch and hugs are needed for the emotional development and the security for your child. So recently, while mentoring a client, she was saying that the issue that she faces from her husband is that her husband doesn't express love, and so she feels he doesn't love her. But after hearing a lot of incidents, what I felt is it's not that he doesn't love her, because there are several indications that he does, but she's not feeling it because he's not expressing it. Normally, especially with boys, we tend to cut down everything that they express. We just expect them to be that bold and person, that they slowly that lose that habit of expressing the love that they have, and that can be harmful in their relationship as well as they grow up. So expressing your love every day, that will help in bonding, in nurturing respect, and that will bring in more cooperation from your children. The 10th one, earlier we had made this mistake. We need to accept the emotions of the other person. That is the right one. We were doing just the opposite, and it's been few years since we changed. So as humans, we all go through a variety of emotions. We get angry. Normally, what we do is when our child goes through anger, we make him feel so bad for having that sadness or disappointment or anger in them. We say, why are you feeling so? There is nothing that happened. This is just a small thing. Why do you have to make a big fuss about that? This is rejecting the feelings of the children. See, when chat comes, I'm really getting distracted. Okay, let's have that. I'll go through it and after we finish this. So they feel confused as a yeah. When we reject their feelings, the problem is they feel confused. Like when the child has been really hurt, okay, and you're saying, oh, nothing is there, but what the child is thinking is, I'm really feeling hurt, but mama is saying it's just the opposite. So there's a confusion that is happening. And for older children, like if a person fights with their sibling or a friend, you ask them, why are you making a big fuss about the small thing that happened? But for the child, that is not a small thing. For them, it is the big thing. So don't make their struggle seem less. Accept the emotion what they are going through. When a child is angry, that anger is okay. But if he pushes the other person out of that anger, that action is not to be allowed. But to correct them on their action, first you need to accept their emotion. Only when they realize and we accept what feeling they are going through, they'll be able to control their behavior. Okay, and our greatest emotional hunger is to be valued and to be understood by another person. So a famous quote goes like, the psychologist Chaim Jinnat says, all feelings are okay, but all feelings are okay, but the behavior is, and all feelings have to be accepted, but the behavior is what that has to be limited. So our children go through a lot of feelings, happiness, anger, frustration. It can be hard to manage that when they are showing that tantrum. So what we need to do at that time is we need to be trained to handle those situations with care, so that you don't show that anger on them, but you accept the emotion, and you'll be able to set that boundary and train them on how to react during those outbursts, those moments. If you're struggling at this, you can message Crink, and we are giving support to parents to handle such situations. Another common mistake is making a child feel bad for what you have done. You made me angry. I was rash driving because I was disappointed at what you did. We are holding our child responsible for what we did. So don't ever do this, accusing them for our anger, for our tiredness, because we have to overwork. We do that for children, but don't use that as a weapon on them. If we blame like this, the child will internalize this blame, and whatever happens in his life, he won't be able to think about a solution, but he'll be drowning in guilt, thinking that he's the problem behind everything. So in order to protect their emotional health, let's avoid this kind of words, and let's take the responsibility of our behavior. So with that, we have covered 11 habits, and we are moving on to the last two, which are magical change maker habits. The first one among that is start giving respect to each other as a spouse, and see wonderful changes happening in your family. Second one is ending force and punishments. Many times when we want the other person to obey us, we force our rules on them and we punish them. If we start that, all throughout our life, we'll be forcing and punishing. After a certain point, our kids just outgrow that and they start showing it back on us. Earlier, in our days and all, we used to hear teenagers shouting back at their parents, right? In our times. But now it is 7 years, 8-year-old children, spanking their parents. And at that time, when we show this aggression, what happens is either the child is developing a revenge inside, they will be learning to do their mistake more secretively, or they'll be turning very submissive. So it only, these punishments and force that we put on the children, that only has negative impacts on them. If you want your kids to stop fighting with each other, then one major change that you need to make is just change the way that you are correcting them. And remember, the control that you have on your children, that should come out of respect, out of love. And it's not easy, as I say, I know it, but that is the right way to do it. And those who are struggling, with a slight guidance, you'll be able to do it. And Crink has been doing that since past 2 years. So next is a self-check question. And before going into the next self-check question, I would like to introduce our new upcoming program, that is Parenting Without Frustration. This service is for parents. Whether, as we said, whether we want or not, our children are learning a lot of things from us, especially from how we are raising them. That's why, since our childhood has a good impact on them, that's why we feel like we are behaving in ways in which we don't want to, which we got from our parents. So we have a great influence on shaping how our children become, and Crink is helping parents become better parents through our Parenting Without Frustration 1 month transformation program. In this 1 month, that is week 1 and 2, we'll be focusing on building influence over your child and getting out of so many mistakes that you're making. And then we'll move on to, in week 3 and 4, we'll move on to equipping you with positive disciplining strategies instead of punishments and threatening and anger. So after this program, people feel a lot in control because of the love and respect that you get from the children, and naturally children will start obeying, and you'll get more peace in home. So we have been running this program for over 1 year, and we have changed it a bit, and that's why you see the term revamped there. And now it's going to be 1 month, a full impact program if you want to transform your parenting journey. And along with that, we also have personal mentorship program where you will get a parent mentor to you, where you can discuss your personal problems with them and get a solution in a step-by-step manner. This Parenting Without Frustration program is a group mentoring, just like this. It is a group mentoring program, and it is for 1 year. It's starting on August 2nd. And since we have revamped and launching it, there is a very good discount that is running till 25th. That is today's 23 until 25th. If any one of you is interested, you can fill the form that will be posted now in the chat box. Shruti? Parent mentorship program schedule in the sense, Tasneem, you can message Shruti. Shruti, please post your number also. How it runs is, you will have a we'll discuss that towards the end, Tasneem. I just want to wind this up with before getting late. So this is the third self-check question. What do you wish you got from your parents? What your parents should have done differently? Is there anything that you can think of? What you wished you got differently from your parents? Yes or no? Many things. Okay. So you'll have many things like that. Pick one and start giving that to your children right away. That is the third self-check question. And active involvement in family matters with your kids, with your spouse, is very necessary. And you both need to work as a team. I'm not neglecting single parents here, but I would like to focus on the relationship between spouses more, because nowadays, recently, a lot of cases that I hear, there's a lot of conflicts between the couples, and I feel so bad. That's why I wanted to focus that in this today's session. So work as a team, and don't take opportunities to blame each other. Be involved in the family, both husband and wife. Take kids outside, go for birding, skating, in cooking, in cleaning. These are all the activities that we do together. Going to library. These are the activities that we do together as a family, and also homeschooling children. So we all have the desire to create a strong family, but that's not enough. We need the right skills to put that into action, and that requires effort. And we are all busy, I know. That is why Crink is helping busy parents with the personal mentorship program, where the parent mentor will be allotting you action steps to change your family, but considering the time that you have to spend with your family. Okay, so we have come to the end. All successful families, it doesn't happen in one fine morning. It requires a lot of effort, and if you need support from Crink, we are here to help you. Those who are interested in parenting without frustration, you can fill the form. Shruti, it will be good if you can post the form link and your number again. So let's end on this note. Let's not be too busy for relationships. Is that a good note? Yes or no? Okay, Rasha has given a thumbs up. Okay, Nadia. Aisha. Sumaya, Shweta, Anshat, Tasneem, Nusrat. Okay, so if you have any doubts, we can address that at this point. And do follow our social media everywhere in Facebook, Instagram. We are there in LinkedIn as well. And note the numbers. In case you have any parenting concern, you can contact in any of these numbers. Okay, I'm just scrolling up. Shruti, can you please post the form link to register for parenting without frustration? I follow your social media and it's really helpful. Thank you, Nadia. Do you have recordings of today's session? Yes, Nehma, that will be provided. You can message in Shruti's or Dubina's number. Dubina, Shruti, can you please post your numbers? And those who have concerns about separating your children in children's room, you can message me personally. First, you can message Shruti and she'll direct. Second habit. Okay, Mariam has asked for the second habit. Just a Okay, second habit was this, separating children's room. Is there couple counseling sessions in Crink? No, Akhila, we don't. Shruti, can you show all the points that you discussed? I'll try to give the PDF, okay? I hope you're all there in our group, Parent Crink group, in one of the groups and in the announcement community as well. So there, you can request to Shruti for the PDF. I'll be making that ready by tomorrow. Parent mentorship program, is it in English? See, Sharon, whatever language you are comfortable with, if it's English, you'll be getting a mentor who speaks English. If it's Malayalam, you will be getting a mentor who speaks Malayalam. And we also, if you're speaking Hindi, we'll give you a Hindi mentor. Mariam Shafrin, communicate more. Okay, I think these are the questions. Kids like reading. Bimbi kids, Safa has messaged, and Dork diaries only. They don't want to read anything useful or informative. They don't want to read Malayalam books either. How can we make them read good and beneficial stuff? See, Safa, one thing is here also forcing won't, give you result. First, let's have this in mind. Our children won't say no to anything that is interesting to them. If we present it in a boring way and if we expect them to read journal papers now, they won't be able to. That's not interesting. So whatever you want them to do, just make it as interesting as possible to the age of the child. So if you want them to read Malayalam books, you can start reading it out to them. Take some time and read out Malayalam books for some time and see how whether they are able to gain that interest, and if so, then they'll be reading it on their own. We have very little verbal ways in our culture to express love through it. Yes, that's true. So I think I've covered all the questions that you mentioned. Okay, thank you, Safa. How to introduce Naurin? You can message me personally. Was wonderful brushing up for me. Okay, Shahira. What's the offer price and all? You can message Shruti. Shruti is the one behind it. Shruti, can you post the number again? No gender roles. That's true, Tasnim. Maid is a major member of the house, and to onboard them, it is pretty hard. But let's hope for the best. And if you both can try it together, then that will be nice. Good to see you, Nasima ma'am. Mariam. Any homeschooling session? Yes, we do give guidance on homeschooling as well. You can message Shruti. Salva. Okay, someone has asked for the 7th habit, and Aisha has replied. Thank you, Aisha. Latifa, for the offer, you can message Shruti. Salva, regarding everything regarding this 2nd habit, please message me personally. Okay. Thank you, Deepa. Thank you, Nusrat. Any other doubts? Shruti's number. This is Shruti's number. And those who are interested in that 1-month transformation program, Parenting Without Frustration, you can fill this form and Shruti will contact you. Okay, so see you all. Thank you. It is a good evening. It is a Sunday evening, and thank you for all for coming and attending it all throughout. I know I am also expecting guests here. Thank you, Hasina Banu. Good to see you. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye bye. Binju, Sharina. Thank you, Amin, Latifa. Fatima Zahra, Safa. Thank you, thank you. Okay, take care, everyone. See you all in one of the other sessions that are coming up.